received MBA degree from Christ College, Bangalore with a first rank gold medal. After college, Swamiji joined the Arsa Vidya Gurukulam at Coimbatore and studied Vedanta under Pujya Swami Dayananda Saraswati. After which he studied Vedanta at Rishikesh with Sri Swami Satchidananda. Swamiji has been teaching Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad and Vedic knowledge to everyone and to youngsters in particular. Swamiji is also involved in many seva projects concerning education and health care. We invite Swamiji to deliver a talk on Sadasiva Brahmendra.
Hari Om. इस सेशन में ओंकार मरकसरी चैंट से प्रारंभ Keep your back straight. Eyes gently closed. Breathe in. As you breathe out, start the chanting of Omkar. Breathe in. In the beginning of this talk, I would like to first offer vandanas to all the great scholars who are present here. Yandaro Mahan Bhavlu Andariki Navandanu. It's very rare these days that scholarship is celebrated. Shalaka Garu and all the great eminent scholars have done tapas. So what is that tapas? Did they go to Himalayas and stand on one leg? No. Did you do? Did they go to Mount Kailash and did the parikrama every year? No. Then what is the tapas that they have done? In Vyakarna, tapa alochane is also there. So, what alochana of what? Shastra. Shastra chintana, Shastra vichara, all the time. If somebody has to write a commentary for Mahabharata, Ramayana and other great epics, that kind of scholarship is something that must be celebrated. And you, the members of Adhyatma Bharati under the able leadership of Dr. Sharma, have organized this beautiful conference so that there is a conglomeration, there is a presentation of all the different flowers of scholarship which are present in these people, and it's an occasion for all of us to come together like a bunch of flowers in a bouquet. So that's a very beautiful thing. I appreciate the efforts of Adhyatma Bharati. That is the prasthavana to begin with. The PowerPoint is not working, so bear with me as I refer to the presentation on my laptop. The topic of Sadashiva Brahmendra's composition. Advaita and Sadashiva Brahmendra's composition. I don't think anybody is there who has not heard the name of Sadashiva Brahmendra. I think all of you, whether serious students of Vedanta, serious students of Shastra or not, all of you have heard Sadashiva Brahmendra's name. Oh, because I think also famous Telugu film Manasa Sancharare was there in the Shankarabharam movie. So it's very familiar, and that composition itself rings a bell in everybody's minds and takes us towards Sadashiva Brahmendra. Now, why Sadashiva Brahmendra? First of all, in the Sampradaya, it is very well settled that Sadashiva Brahmendra is a Jnani, a Jivan Mukta Purusha, a Jivan Mukta. In the Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, Arjuna poses a question for Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna, starting from Ashocha and Ashochastvam, 11th verse onwards, has given the Advaita Tattva, the entire essence of Shastra. Already is given from 11th verse to 30th or 31st verse. In a way, entire Gita, all other 16 chapters can be taken as a commentary on these verses of Bhagavad Gita. That is the profundity of these verses. So, Arjuna asks a question to Lord Krishna. He says, Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava sthitadhi kim prabhasheta kimasita prajeta. Now Arjuna, having known the jnana, the tattva, he wants to know how a jnani is. How a jnani is. See, Chetanatmakam jnana. Jnana can reside only in a conscious being. Jnana cannot be in a jada vastu. So, what is there in the books? The book is a jada vastu. What is there in the book? When it is there in a conscious being alone, then it gets the status of jnana. So that is the beauty of the entire Shastra. So where does the jnana reside? In a jnani. In a jnani. So Arjuna asks, how is a jnani? How is a sthita prajna? I want to know. How does he talk? Ka bhasha, sthita prajnasya. How does he sit? How does he talk? How does he walk? So Krishna answers the question by saying, Shri Bhagavan Vacha Prajahati yada kaman sarvan pathan manogatan atmanyevatmana tushtaha sthita prajnastadochyate. So Krishna very beautifully answers. We can take one word to explain a jnani. Atmanyeva atmana. So he's santushtaha in his own atma, in himself. He's santushta. He does not require any other thing to be. That jnani revels in atma, in atma tattva. So atmanyeva atmana tushtaha. Somebody who does not need any other thing. Shastra says, Vidyadvai bhayam bhavati. Only when there is another thing, it can be a cause for your enjoyment also. It can be a cause for your fear also. See, mobile phone. Second vastu apart from you. Cause for your happiness, you see your grandson, granddaughter's picture, you order on Amazon, you show the gate pass to come into this building, all that happens. But then there is always fear. What if I lose? What if I lose? What will I do? ఏమైతుంది నేను ఇది పాగొట్టుకుంటే కరెక్ట్గా నాకు ఏమవుతుంది? ఆల్వేస్ భయం, ఆల్వేస్ భయం. తృతీయ భయం. So Sadashiva Brahmendra is jnani of that order where he had given up everything. He had passed all the stages and gone into the Avadhuta stage. Sadashiva Brahmendra. He did not need anything from the society. He did not need a chair, he did not need a mic, he did not need an occasion to give his philosophy like what we are doing. He did not need an ashram. He did not need a bank account. He did not need a trust. He did not need anything. He had given up everything. Because for him, Vedanta was not just Vagadvaita. For him, Advaita was an Anubhava. He was an Anubhavi. So that is a Sthita Prajna. So Arjuna when asks Krishna, and Krishna again talks not about a person, attributes of a person. So in order to give a picture, I have chosen Sadashiva Brahmendra so that we have a glimpse how is a Jnani. How is a Jnani? Why we should know how is a Jnani? In the Bhashya of this section, Shankara Bhagavad says, whatever are the lakshanas of a Sthita Prajna or become the sadhanas of a Mukshvara sadhana. Yani Sthita Prajna lakshanas, whatever are the lakshanas of a Sthita Prajna, that become sadhanas for us. So whatever we see in Sadashiva Brahmendra, we can take it as sadhanas. We can take it as sadhanas. He is unattached. He moves around freely. So we can know. We can know that we have to come out of attachments. He does not seek approval of anybody else. He does not want people to clap or announce anything. So we should learn that if we are going to go ahead in the sadhana of Advaita, we should stop seeking approval of people. Stop seeking approval of people and move on in the journey. So that is the greatness of Sadashiva. Another greatness of Sadashiva Brahmendra is, he is a great scholar par excellence also. He has written a Vritti for Brahma Sutra. He has written many other Advaita works also. Along with it, he has given us compositions also, musical compositions, for which he is very well known for. So that he is a Vedantin who was not a dry, he had rasa also. Taittiriya Upanishad says, Raso Vaisaha Rasatgahyevayam Labdvanandi Bhavati. For him, Brahman was not a concept. For him, Vedanta was not some Vakya Vichara. For him, Vedanta was Atma Vichara. Vakya Vichara should lead to Atma Vichara. Otherwise, we will be left with high and dry with the books and scholarship. No use. So, Sadashiva Brahmendra has given us the great tenets of Vedanta through his compositions also, which is simple and profound. Simple Sanskrit. Even if you know little Sanskrit, you are able to understand. And profound compositions of Sadashiva Brahmendra. And you can observe in entire Sadashiva Brahmendra's literature, it's always an Anubhava Drishti. Anubhava Drishti. Because anything we learn has to be in keeping with the Shruti. It has to go along with the Shruti. It has to go along with the Yukti. It has to go along with the Yukti also. And it should be in your Anubhava also. If any one is missing, then there is no point. Something you may feel, but it is not according to the Shastra, then that is not valid. Something you may argue very well, Yukti, for your Yukti, you reason, you put all the tarkas and prove Brahman, Atman is equal to Brahman. You can prove, equation you can solve. Tat, Tvam, Asi. What is the Tatpada Dharma, Sarva Shaktimatvam, all that you put. What is the Tvampada Lakshanas, Jivatva, Alpajnatva, Alpajnana, all that. Then you cancel all this. What remains? Chaitanyam is equal to Chaitanyam. You can solve these equations very well. You can give a paper, but if it is not in your Anubhava, what is the use? Shankaracharya in the Viveka Chudamani says, if you keep on telling crossing, medicine, your disease is not going to be cured. Only if you take it in along with the diet, then alone it will work. So Sadashiva Brahmendra's drishti is like that. He has the Anubhava drishti because he has assimilated Vedanta. And he has appreciation for both Saguna Brahma Upasana and merging in Nididhyasana and the Nirguna Brahma Tattva. That you can see in Sadashiva Brahmendra's composition. Atma work consisting about 65 verses is another great work of Sadashiva Brahmendra, where he presents Advaita Anubhava, and the irrelevance of Tarka, all that kind of parts in the pursuit of Advaita. It is to be noted, Sadashiva Brahmendra was a great inspiration to Sringeri Guru Parampara. Sachidananda Shivabhinava, Narasimha Bharati, all the Mahaswamigal were so impressed by him that Sringeri Purva Jagat Gurus had written compositions on Sadashiva Brahmendra. That is the greatness of Sadashiva Brahmendra. In the orthodoxical parampara of Sringeri Guru Pitha, the sitting Jagat Guru Shankaracharya will not do namaskar or upachara to any other gurus. But as an exception, even Jagat Gurus offer their vandanam only in one Mahasamadhi except their Guru Parampara, which is the Sadashiva Brahmendra's Mahasamadhi. So that is the greatness of Sadashiva Brahmendra. Moving further, Sadashiva Brahmendra explains in the 21st verse of Atmavidya Vilasa. He himself says how is a jnani, how is a Jivan Mukta. He says he is rooted, absorbed in Brahman all the time. He is absorbed in the bliss, the happiness that comes out of understanding of the Tattva. So he is all the time absorbed in that Brahma Tattva. My Guruji, Pujya Swami Dayananda Saraswati ji used to say, how is it, how do you always be in the happiness of the Tattva? He used to say, like how the Rasagulla is soaked in the sugar syrup. Like that, we must be soaked, like how Rasagulla absorbs every sugar syrup and soaks in the Kshiram. Like that, we must be floating in the Kshira Sagara of the Jnana. He says that Jnani may meditate for a while, that Jnani may sing for a while, that Jnani may dance in ecstasy sometimes. Sadashiva Brahmendra was the epitome of all this. People around his village in Kumbakonam thought he was a mad person. Initially they did not recognize his greatness. Sometimes he sings, sometimes he is just walking around everywhere, no clothes, Digambara. So people thought he must be a madman. No. Then later when people recognized his greatness in his compositions, in his works, people recognized the jnana that was residing in him. Now, I would like to take a few compositions of Sadashiva Brahmendra. Our Dr. Sharma requested me that I should also sing and present the compositions wherever we can, so that Rasabhava is also there along with what we are listening. So Sadashiva Brahmendra, one of the very famous compositions, very celebrated compositions is Sarvam Brahmamayam. Re Sarvam Brahmamayam. So here, in this composition, he addresses from a very high standpoint. It can be called as Siddha Paksha. There can be two ways of looking at the Tattva. One is the Sadhana Paksha. That moksha is a sadhya. So you do the sadhana and go on attaining the moksha. That is the Sadhana Paksha. There is also a Siddha Paksha of very high standpoint to say there is nothing to be done. There is nothing to be done. All you have to know, all you have to do is just know. At once. At once. There is no explanation, no prakriya, don't go to technicalities, this, that, nothing. Just go. Just go. What is to be done, you do. This is also there in Buddhism. Once somebody came to Lord Buddha and asked, so you have not explained Jiva Jagat Ishvara, what is the Sambandha, all that you have not explained in your philosophy, the student asked. So Buddha kept quiet, Lord Buddha, and he said, suppose an arrow is stuck on your back. Somebody came and shooted an arrow on your back. Will you do vichara that time? Where did the arrow come from? At what speed the arrow came? Who hit the arrow? Whether that arrow is real or unreal? You won't do. What will you do? You will not ask any question. You just take it out and throw. Similarly, there is ajnana. What you have to do is throw it, that's all. How? Jnanajana shalakaya. So, you are complaining that there is darkness. So, going out of darkness, is it a systematic thing? One after the other, first 1 kg of darkness will go out of the hall, then second 1 kg will go out, then third 1 kg will go. No. You put a lamp, where is the darkness? So Sadashiva Brahmendra in this composition, he has the lamp, he does not know darkness. He does not know darkness itself. Ajnana se ashraya king, no. For him there are no questions. Because for him, where is ajnana? There is no ajnana. There is only Brahman. Sarvam Brahmamayam, Reve Sarvam Brahma. So we'll see the composition. I will present you the composition a little and then I'll explain the composition. Sarvam Brahmamayam Reve Sarvam Brahmamayam Sarvam Brahmamayam Reve Sarvam Brahmamayam Kim Vachaniyam Kim Avachaniyam Kim Vachaniyam Kim Avachaniyam Kim Rachaniyam Kim Rachaniyam Sarvam Brahmamayam Sarvam Brahmamayam Reve Sarvam Brahmamayam Kim Pathaniyam Kim Apathaniyam Kim Pathaniyam Kim Apathaniyam Kim Bhajaniyam Kim Bhajaniyam Sarvam Brahmamayam Sarvam Brahmamayam Reve Sarvam Brahmamayam Sarvatra Sada Hamsa Dhyanam Sarvatra Sada Hamsa Dhyanam Kartavyam Bho Mukti Nidanam Sarvam Brahmamayam Brahmamayam Reve Sarvam Brahmamayam Sarvam Brahmamayam Reve Sarvam Brahmamayam. Sadashiva Brahmendra is telling, when all that is Brahman, what is there to talk, what is there not to talk? Our scholar was telling, Mauna Vyakhya Prakatita Para Brahma Tattvam Yunana. How much ever the words try cannot describe the Nirguna Parabrahma. How can you define something which does not have any guna? Only something which has guna can be defined. Suppose you want to define this has orange color. So you can define what you are holding in your hand is that which has orange color. So every definition's boundary is within gunas, within trigunas. So you want to explain that which is beyond triguna, how will you explain? All the visheshanas only separate. Vyavartakam visheshana. We will only separate. We are not looking for that. We are looking for oneness. So words fail. यतो वाचो निवर्तन्ते अप्राप्य मनसा सह. There is this mantra in the Taittiriya Upanishad. The words, all the Aksharamala, you imagine, it is very nice to imagine. All the alphabets, all the words available in Sanskrit dictionary, all the words along with the mind, they went in search of Brahman. They went along. That they should capture Brahman and come back. I should know Brahman and come back. Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasasana. Even along with the mind, they went all the words. And this is nirguna. This does not have any guna. You cannot capture the words. Right? Then we are studying Shastra. Shastra is Shabda. What is the use of Shabda? Siddham tu nivartakatvat. The role of Shastra is that whatever is other dharma that you are mistaking for Atma, it does the nivartana. Whatever other dharma. That's why all the Swarupa Lakshanas are always in negation. Shalaka ji very well said. I noted it down, in fact. I noted it down. I hope you all noted it down. Whatever is, you had a nakara behind it as a prefix. So, or we can only define in negative terms. Or there are no definitions, no vak available for describing that Brahman. That's why Sadashiva Brahmendra is telling, Kimvachaniyam, Kimavachaniyam. What to talk about it? It is the reality. I don't see any other. If I see any other thing, if I see Ajnana, then I have to explain and then I should do the nivritti. I don't know Ajnana. What to talk about? I don't have anything to talk about. I don't. Kimrachaniyam, Kimarachaniyam. What shall I write? What shall I not write? When everything is Brahman. So Kim Bhoktavyam, Kima Bhoktavyam. I did not say this verse. So when everything is Brahman, what to go for, what to leave? When everything is Brahman. That is the height of his understanding. So he stayed as a free person like Hamsa. He uses in all his composition as Hamsa. You should know one secret of Vedanta. Wherever there is Hamsa, it should be understood as Soham. Hamsa Soham. Hamsa Soham, Soham Hamsa. That is the mantra. So Hamsa is representation of that freedom, of that state of freedom, which moves freely in the world. Free. So does a jnani does not have any effort? Of course, effort can be there. We don't know. Like underneath that swan, Hamsa, there is always the leg movement. But you can never see that. In its being, there is no kartritva, there is no kriya. But apparently you can see underneath that swan. It is all apparent, mithya. Whatever kriya which you can see also is mithya. And that jnani roams around freely like a hamsa. That is what Sadashiva Brahmendra is telling, that I don't know any other thing to tell you. Sarvatra sada hamsatya. I can only tell you one thing. Sarva, in everywhere, learn to see unity. That one principle, Brahman, Atma Tattva, which does not have any guna, which is the basis for entire Jagat. Which is the basis for entire Jagat. Entire Jagat is appearing on it as like a snake on the rope. It has no real reality. No real reality. The reality is only this. That is what Sadashiva Brahmendra is telling in this particular journey. Now, in this particular composition. Now, Sadashiva Brahmendra is equally compassionate to give us all also some Saguna Brahma Upasana. Why? Why it is required? It is required as long as the mind is not ready. For a mind which is ready, which has Antahkarana Shuddhi, Chitta Naishchalyam, it does not need anything. When the Shastra Pramana Guru operates, it knows. It does not need anything. But for that purity of mind, we need the Saguna Brahma Upasana. Under the Saguna Brahma Upasana, all our puja, karma, everything, dhyana, japa, everything can be put under that. Because as of now, we we are not able to appreciate and understand that Nirguna Tattva. So Shastra superimposes some gunas on it, so that we can meditate, we can have Ishtadeva, we can do some meditation, only from Jnana Drishti. So for us, in order to climb the ladder of Advaita, to go to the last step, Sadashiva Brahmendra in his compassion also gives the Saguna Brahma Upasana. One of the best Saguna Brahma Upasana that Sadashiva Brahmendra gives us that can be seen in the composition Vibare Ramarasa. A beautiful composition again on meditation about you can take the entire composition as a upasana itself. That is Sadashiva Brahmendra is telling, we are all the time interested in some rasas of the world that the world is giving. Some small rasanubhava, such as silly anubhava. That rasanubhava which the Jagat gives, it is very silly. Why do I say that? Your enjoyment of happiness of ice cream ends the moment the ice cream ends in your mouth. Till then it is great. After it has ended, nothing. You are again back to the same person. Children, grandchildren gave some happiness for some time. Then they left us. Where is happiness now? Not there. Our youth and wealth gave us some happiness. Now some things are gone, some things are come. It's always shaky. So that rasanubhava does not have any swada, real swada. If at all there is anything, it will leave you high and dry and fat. All the things that we put onto the tongue, we enjoy it, it leaves us fat, that's all, nothing else. So he is telling, do not go for these kind of silly rasanubhava. If at all you want any rasanubhava, go for the rasanubhava that is there in Ramanama. Vibare Ramarasam, he says. That is the meditation of even Paramahamsas that he says. And that frees you from Janana, Marana, Dukkha, everything he says. There is a Upanishad also, Kali Sankaran Upanishad, where Narada is asking question. In Kali Yuga, can you give us one mantra which can give us Chitta Shuddhi and free us from the karmas? When he asks, the Lord says there in the Upanishad, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Why? This Japa mantra gives us Chitta Shuddhi. All the time mind is running behind this and that, either in past or in future. Now when you have the Japa, it is with the present. It is with the presence. It is with the present of the Lord. So that is what he says. So that is the beautiful composition that Sadashiva Brahmendra has written. He asks us to take the Rama Rasa, the Rasa which is there in the chanting of Lord Rama. And he says, this frees us from Janana, Marana, Bhaya, everything dukkha, it takes us out. And this is the meditation of Shuddha Paramahamsas. Even Shuddha Paramahamsas are meditating, dwelling in the name of the Lord Rama. And Shukha Shaunaka Kaushika Mukha Pita says, this is what is seen in the bliss, the joy which is there in Shukha Maharshi, Shaunakadi Maharshis. They have tejas in their faces. They have such contentment and happiness in their faces. Why is that? What is the cause for that? Is that they have partaken this Rama Rasa. So let us look into the composition.
Hare
What is the use of knowing the joke if you don't laugh? If you don't make others laugh? If you are not able to radiate your happiness to others, what is the use? There is no use. So we should go to Atman Bhava. We must rise up to that standard. That is the responsibility of every Vedanta teacher to point out. That's why an Acharya is called as Deshika, one who points out. One who points out. Vishati. If something is wrong in the student, he points out. If something is right to be seen, he points out. That is the role of Shastra, that is the role of the Acharya. So I will conclude this talk by saying that may you all go through Sadashiva Brahmendra's Kritis itself. For those who do not know much of Sanskrit or anything, doesn't matter. On the Swami Gugalananda, there are a lot of translations and explanation, so you can see and get to know, so that you can hear also the composition, so that it resides in your heart. So remember, all the things we are studying in Adhyatma Bharati, in Ashtra Vidya, it can be in any other Adhyatma forum, must culminate in recognizing Brahman in one's own heart as Ananda. And that your being must be that, and you must be radiating that. Otherwise, no point. Spirituality becomes another thing, you know. We go to Rotary Club, we go to Lions Club, we go to cinema, we go to Vedanta class also, we go to ashram also, we go for this also, we take this and that. So all that is not going to solve the problem. Giving up grihastha and taking sannyasa is not going to solve problem. Nothing is going to solve problem. In Vedanta, nothing is higher, nothing is lower in terms of all this convention. Only one thing which is the highest is the tattva. You align yourself to tattva. In the rest. So with that, I wish you all the best. I wish all the Adhyatma Bharati students great success in their Adhyatmic pursuit. And special congratulations to Dr. Sharma with all the enthusiasm that he has organized this. I don't know the names, so excuse me, I will not be able to tell the names exactly. So I think it was a wonderful occasion after 2 days of doing. And one thing I recognized about Adhyatma Bharati Sharmaji and his group, when they came to our Dayananda Ashram Rishikesh for our lectures last year, full of enthusiasm. You can note one group of 8-10 people. They tap the door of our Swamiji's and then go in and ask the door. All the time they are soaked in Vedanta Rasa like a Rasgulla is soaked like a Jamun. So I hope he is able to spread his infectious enthusiasm to you all, so that you are also. My namaskar to all. Om Shanti Shanti.